Ladies and gentlemen, I'm tempted to say, wanna know it? Some of you know it? You didn't see them running around the streets of Kingston 2 years ago on film. Huh? Particularly as we celebrated our 50th. These are nomads!
Greetings, greetings, greetings and love, one and all. To my right, right wing, conservative, bird eye.
Thanks, love.
Yes, you're free to clap if you want. The not for rent dread. To my left, far left, left wing, liberal, Evie. The homeless Gene. To his right, my left, Honey P. The mild-mannered citizen. On drums, percussions, we have Uppy. I am Papa Shep. And I'm your returning resident, baby.
I've heard that you've been calling.
Just give me the one chance. Let me run. And if you want to romance, I'll be waiting for you. Just give me the one chance. Let me run. All right, here we go. Everybody sing, oh, oh, oh. Sing, oh, 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 oh. Sing, oh, 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 oh. Let me hear you sing, oh, sing,
I know we are acknowledging the arrival of our Prime Minister, and we welcome her here. It's been quite a day for her. Madam Prime Minister, I did explain to the best of my ability and extend the apology for you not being here by suggesting what your schedule has been like today. But could we just put our hands together for the young men on the stage who are leaving the stage? Speak about being upstaged. They were just upstaged by the arrival of the Prime Minister. But of course, as performers, we understand how that goes. Just to get you up to speed, Madam Prime Minister, we've had the testimonials, and that was the performance by Nomads. So I'm now going to be asking the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health to come forward and speak on behalf of the Honourable Fenton Ferguson. So may I ask Dr. Kevin Harvey to come forward at this time.
Most Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Ministers, Permanent Secretaries, members of the industry, Professor Morrison, Dr. Lowe, and many others, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure to be a part of this historical occasion. I must commend the National Commission on Science and Technology for moving forward with the vision of the most Honourable Prime Minister to develop the national nutraceutical industry. In Jamaica, we are fortunate to have a large reserve of natural resources, including plants that are known to have healing and other properties. In fact, last year, the Minister of Health participated in the launch of the Anti-Cancer Research Laboratory at the University of the West Indies, which will be seeking to use indigenous plants from which to derive substances that are cancer-fighting as well as are able to prevent cancers. Jamaica has several types of plants, herbs, and natural waters with mineral reserves that are only found here. This means that there is a great economic potential in such an industry, and so we need to promote and get our people involved in developing our national health products. As modern technology developed, the world saw an increase in the offering of natural and food products that purport to have healthy and healing properties. This is a growing sector that, if navigated adequately and carefully, can have economic, social, and health benefits. Our interest in health is for Jamaicans to observe a healthy lifestyle towards achieving the national development goal of a healthy and stable population by 2030. We continue to promote the use of fresh fruits and vegetables and other healthy natural dietary choices as our first options. We want to reduce the consumption of processed and fast foods, which tend to have high levels of sodium, fats, and sugars, and can contribute to the development of certain non-communicable diseases, including cancers and cardiovascular diseases. These, ladies and gentlemen, are responsible for more than 70% of deaths in Jamaica, not chickpea. From this standpoint, the Ministry of Health fully supports this initiative and will continue to work with the National Commission on Science and Technology towards the development of this industry. In recognition of our role as role to register and regulate products, we are moving forward to push for the amendment of the Food and Drug Act 1974 and its regulations to ensure that the nutraceutical industry is adequately represented and properly recognized in law. We are also proposing new regulations, the Complementary and Alternative Professionals Act, to regulate practitioners in the industry as well as facilities from which they operate. We are working with several other ministries and hope to soon be at a stage where we can begin consultations with stakeholders in a bid to ultimately receive cabinet approval for this new act. Jamaica is an agriculturally rich nation with great potential, which includes using this asset effectively to fight diseases and maintain wellness. I am glad that we are now moving in this positive direction. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an historical moment and the Ministry of Health certainly is pleased to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey. You mentioned, using more fresh fruit and vegetables. And as I sat there are things that I used to eat as a child that I don't see anymore, only when I go in my country. Anybody know granadilla? Country people call it grandidilla. Yeah, you know granadilla? You know it, my brother. Me know my friend, them, the Rasta friend, but I know. Granadilla, you can eat it just so you can make it into a drink, and when it is ripe, oh, just make the place smell so good. I'm also worried that we're going to lose rose apple if we're not careful, because I don't see enough rose apple around the place no more. And I am convinced that stinking toe cannot have that reputation and it don't have some medicinal property. Oh no, stinking toe. Proper people call it locust. No fight grow up on the King's House property. You ever see it along the fence there? No man, a serious thing. I had a thing, a country grew up on a vine and grew up in a pimento tree back at the kitchen that time, outside kitchen we had it, called Portugal. Anybody in here know a thing named Portugal? No fun to be catch, Come with me to the hills of Clarendon, buck up on Portugal and Tayam. You know Tayam? Rather, do you know Tayam? Tayam. No, not Tayam. Tayam, which is different. You see there. You have to come up on Smithville top them and go and discover there's something here. You have no fight. You have no fight. You know the thing. Alright, so friends, we really need to go back to the wonderful products, the fruit, the vegetables, the tubers that we have, and we need to use them. There's nothing I enjoyed more than shelling pimento, but that's for another time. Dr. Lisa Myers-Morgan, you are representing the Honorable Derek Keller. Could you come forward? And Dr. Lisa Myers-Morgan, of course, we talk about agriculture and fisheries and all of that. Could you come forward, my sister? Could you welcome her?
The Most Honorable Prime Minister, our Honorable Ministers, our Permanent Secretaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As the Research Director in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, I hereby bring greetings on behalf of the Honorable Minister, Derek Hellier, in his capacity as the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries. In saying that, today's launch marks yet another important step in our country's quest to diversify our agricultural production through the development of high-valued outputs and to tap into the billion-dollar nutraceutical industry. With a desire for personalized medicine and the increased demand for preventative medicine, this industry, ladies and gentlemen, which is expected to reach over US $200 billion globally by 2016, presents vast opportunities for the agricultural sector and by extension the Jamaican economy. Despite the high quality of our spices and herbs and the scientific expertise available in Jamaica, our exports have been relatively small. In fact, within the hemisphere, Brazil has been one of the major providers of raw materials for the industry, which includes oils, algae, and herbs. Given that a variety of medicinal plants such as guinea hen weed, cerasee, and balmus are grown locally, and over 50% of the established 160 medicinal plants are grown here in Jamaica, we have the potential to become a major player in this industry. And if these plants are properly harnessed, this industry could boost earnings and job creation. With a reduction in preferential markets for Jamaica's traditional export crops, such as sugar, and in light of the increasing potential for non-traditional, high-value-added agricultural products, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, through our export division, has embarked on a sustained and strategic program for the development of flavor, fragrances, and spices. These flavors, fragrances, and spices are extracted from ginger, turmeric, pimento, nutmeg, and guinea hen weed. Among our priorities are the expansion of the spice industry program by increasing our production and yield, and the introduction of new varieties and increased exports of herbs and spices through value chain development, for example, for powder and oils, as well as the implementation of quality assurance programs in the spices industry. To this end, we have re-established the Jamaican ginger as a dominant product in the global market, and over 60 spice farms have been Global GAP certified. As a supplier of the raw materials for the nutraceutical industry, we are aware of the potential and benefits that this industry offers to Jamaica's agribusiness sector. In addition, Jamaica's informal herbal industry and the traditional knowledge regarding its many healthy and rich endemic species add key contextual appropriateness for the establishment of this industry. So, given the growing demand for nutraceutical products, the development of this national nutraceutical industry comes at a very opportune time. The fact is, finding new market niches for our crops is of paramount importance. Finding new uses for our crops, for example, our ginger, which is renowned for its potency worldwide, offers good economic and livelihood potential for our farmers. Jamaica is well positioned in terms of products, space, land, techniques, and high-quality raw materials. It is for these reasons that I welcome the introduction of this industry focused on nutraceuticals, many of which can be developed from crops that Jamaica grows naturally. The development of the nutraceutical industry is not only relevant, but timely and important for the development of our country. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is very pleased to be a part of this initiative and is committed to working with the other stakeholders from across the ministries and agencies to ensure its success. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa Mize Morgan, Research Director. Have you done any research with pawpaw? Yes? The fruit, the leaf, the stem, or you just settle with the fruit? Yeah, the fruit. It's interesting, you know, the folklore in this country about the stem of the pawpaw plant. If you cut it and put, for example, a picture in it and leave it there, I gather the picture disappears. So if you have somebody you want to get rid of, and say so if you do it. I learned that in the 70s. Now I've told you that as a research director, please do not put my picture in there when you're testing it, right? But find a picture of something and put it in. But I suppose it's a papain. I don't know what it is because, you know, pawpaw is a tenderizer, so it must be nice stem too. So I make that happen. But check it out and tell me. Don't put my picture in there, right? And as you spoke again, I remember, anybody here know Abe? No, Abe? Praise the Lord. You know, sometimes I swear I'm from a different era. I hear somebody say, yes, I don't know the voice coming from. True, Abe come like a small coconut and you boil that down and you eat that, man, may I tell you. That is why we never used to get sick in country, you know, me telling you. And then when you finish with that, now you have some soursop leaf tea. And especially if you have a headache and all and something, and you quail certain leaf, breadfruit leaf, and you put the quail leaf by your head, slap it on, so, and then tie a piece of cloth around it, and you get rid of the headache. I culture that, and that's how we used to manage it. Now, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Anthony Hilton, Member of Parliament and Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, to speak with us. Minister, sir.
Madam Masters of Ceremonies, Most Honorable Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, colleague ministers, permanent secretaries, Professor the Honorable Errol Morrison, Director General of National Science, National Commission on Sciences, Reverend Dr. Kimon De Cesar, the Chief Research Officer, Steepil USA, welcome. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of the public sector, representatives of the private sector, members of the media, brothers and sisters, all, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. The launch of the national nutraceutical industry marks an important watershed in the development of Jamaica's science-based industries. To be sure, this effort demonstrates the direction that the country must further embrace if we are to expect to move industry up the knowledge chain. Moving up the knowledge chain is critical to developing value chains and transforming the industry landscape, and to offer greater opportunities for a scientific and technical workforce, entrepreneurs, investors, and our workers. Ladies and gentlemen, our country has been blessed with the natural resources to support the development of a lucrative nutraceutical industry. And indeed, Jamaica has more than half, as the point was made earlier, more than half of the 160 plants declared worldwide as having medicinal properties. This natural bounty becomes of greater significance as the global market for nutraceuticals is projected to reach in excess of $270 billion in 2016, and further to increase to over $500 billion by 2018. Let us therefore take, for example, as an example, one example, the ganja plant. The derivatives of this plant were key to the pioneering work of respective doctors, of respective scientists, Dr. West, Lockhart and Lowe, supported by their teams in the 1970s, which culminated in the development of medicinal treatments for glaucoma and asthma. It is therefore propitious that we seek to formalize the nutraceutical industry while simultaneously forging ahead with marijuana reform laws. These reform laws will create a framework for the development of the industrial hemp and medicinal marijuana industries. Indeed, by creating this framework, we are also providing fertile ground for new investment opportunities, including export diversification. So, ladies and gentlemen, export diversification will allow our country to make better use of open distribution channels, which is key as we look to enter global supply and value chains within the international trading system. Indeed, utilizing these channels is integral to the transformational effect that the pursuit of the logistics-centered economy represents. With the formalization of the nutraceutical industry, the opportunities to develop the industrial hemp and medical marijuana industries become further magnified. To this end, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce has been focused on the regulatory framework for standards development, intellectual property protection, investment promotion, and the involvement of our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in order to enable the development and growth of the industrial hemp and medical marijuana industries. Already, a cross-ministry consultative group has been established and draft regulations governing the establishment of industrial hemp is at hand and will be subjected further to consultation among the broad stakeholder groupings. The matter of standards development as an integral part of a robust quality infrastructure is of utmost importance. This is critical to ensuring strict adherence of products to local and internationally accepted standards. It is my firm belief that this is a key consideration for the Cannabis Licensing Authority, which will be established along with the regulations necessary for the development of the industrial hemp and medical marijuana industries in Jamaica. Indeed, the Bureau of Standards is already undertaking work to create a roadmap to chart the standards development of these industries. Intellectual property protection is another key area of focus in facilitating the development of the nutraceutical industries. The Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO, will be key in registering Jamaica's geographic indications. And even as we protect our natural resources, we must also protect our cultural legacy. In this regard, JIPO will examine intellectual property rights of the Rastafarian community in aspects of our traditional knowledge, our traditional cultural expressions, as well as geographic indicators. And all of this with the assistance of the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. JAMPRO has been tasked with assessing investor interest in the development of these industries. Even as we speak, local and international investors are priming themselves to take advantage of the economic opportunities that industrial hemp and medical marijuana industries will provide. I am, therefore, convinced that although not one of the focus areas of JIF of 2015, that's the Jamaica Investment Forum, we will receive expressions of interest at that event. As we seek to develop these new industries, I hope it will empower local businesses, especially our medium, small, and micro enterprises, to realize the tremendous potential of Jamaica's natural bounty. This is an opportunity for MSMEs to use our natural resources in ways that will bring us back to our roots while being innovative and commercially viable. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it is within our MSMEs that exist the foundations for economic development, job creation, and an improved standard of living for all Jamaicans. In this regard, the role of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, the JBDC, becomes integral in the provision of training and business development services as our MSMEs seek to establish a foothold in these formalized industries. I firmly believe that the development of any new industry must be underpinned by research. I'm therefore happy to see Professor Errol Morrison here today, an integral part of this as Director General of Nutraceutical. The development of these industries will allow us to move towards a stronger and more prosperous Jamaica, one characterized by increased foreign exchange earnings, increased employment opportunities ranging from agriculture to manufacturing, and an improved social and economic well-being of all persons involved. It is in this spirit that I welcome today's industry launch and to welcome you all to a glimpse of history. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I quite like the phrase, Jamaica's natural bounty. And I think we all accept and acknowledge that this is historic and that we are very privileged to be a part of it. I'm inviting my young performers to return at this time, the young men of Nomads. If you could just get them to come to the stage and make their second performance for the afternoon, I'd greatly appreciate that. All right, and so while they make their way to the stage, then I can tell you that if you listen to many of our folk songs, you will hear mention made of several of our plants that are so important to healing and that have been used by our forebears over time. And so all of this is intricately tied up with everything else, but definitely with our culture and our heritage, and so much is recorded through our folk music. We remember the work of people like the late Dr. Olive Lewin, and she's left a legacy, not only in recorded music, but in books that she's published. And enjoy their performance, and we will too. Nomads for the second time.
It only takes a spark to get a fire going and going. So come, let's take a walk where green herbs are growing and growing. That's how it is with ganja. Oh, once you've experienced it, you won't believe, you will achieve, you'll want to pass it on, pass it on.
I was spraying on my marijuana cologne. 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 I was spraying on my marijuana cologne when you missed and caught me in my eye. That was my reply to the officer. He asked about the redness of my eye. Said my t-shirt smelled of ganja, and he saw the little stain. And he's wondering if he could get just a tat for his brain. I have ganja in my pocket, ganja in my felt. Ganja not leather, you'll find it in my belt. Ganja over work, ganja over rest. But keep on me get split betwixt my girl breast. Cerebral ganja that me keeping on my brain. My cologne is made of him, so my all is ganja stain. All is ganja stain. All is ganja stain. All is ganja stain. Now that we found her, what are we gonna do with it? I said, now that we found her, what are we gonna do with it? I come on and smell good, ganja smell good. I smell good, ganja smell good. I smell good, loud, 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 loud. Oh, it smells so nice. I smell good, ganja smell good. I smell good, ganja smell good. I smell good, ganja loud, 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 loud. That smells so nice.
In the helicopter getting a bird's eye view. Glad Bob posting on my head because the herb's eye view. So I jumped on the top like a crazy dude. I'm crazy dude and I'm crazy. White light and travel, no parachute.
No. You sing me from the gutter like a lazy road. Every fly past me where you go, my youth.
To the weed fair. That's what he said. Thoughts flying through the sky like a dash from my head. I got 2 types of herb under my bed. Wanna company in face, I wanna raise the dead. 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 Like rock.
The story of the mad people.
Clap your hands, please. I clap your hands.
Only the mad ones will survive.
Clap your hands, please. I clap your hands. You're in tune to the sound of the man. Don't care if you're not crazy enough. I clap your hands.
If you don't want, leave the room.
2 and 3. Here we go. come to visit us my day. I said hallelujah.
But from the point we cannot come straight.
Respect, love and love. Thanks for having us.
These are my sons. They are a little mad, but they are able to bring everything in the culture together very nicely, as you could hear. I got up, I almost hit the stage and dinky many, but I have to remember that the chick bean, I need them still, and I can't dinky too hard. And then I hope you realize, though, that they were able to move from the traditional folk music into the church music, Rock of Ages, in the pop, yeah, same rhythm, you know. And you better understand it. But what I found most instructive was in that song about the ganja, to observe the faces. My brother over here, so, my Rasta friend said so. I can say, all right, validation time now. Some other people said so. Some other people said so. Prof. Morrison said so. Because he might research it. Dr. Henry Lowe said, all right, okay, something more to work with. But really, uno shasi, uno face. No mask? Try not to do it 20 years ago, then lock open a whistle. I remember though, 20 years ago, Bello and Blacker, in their performance, well, no more than 20, you know, they used to do a song called Ganja Tree. And remember that? Oh, Ganja Tree, oh, Ganja Tree. Remember that? All right, me now sing it, you know, because next time I get myself not shovel here this evening, this afternoon. But Uno should have seen no faces. And then some of you are looking at some of Uno and I laugh after how Uno look stiff and can't relax. That was so funny. Next time, don't invite nomads. But them was good, not true. Then clap them again, man. You have to invite them. Hello, nomad. The last one will step off our stage and don't say goodbye, auntie. Walk your body back here, out of order. You know which part I come from. I know him from about 6 and 7. Avina Powell used to write the pieces for him to perform in festival, you know, Madam PM. And so he came right through from the primary school level, Calabar Primary, and then went straight up, you know. And the boy, good subtle, and then the Sheldon, know, him father was there before. And it's a talented little group, you know. Them good, clap them again. On Wednesday next week, I'm heading to Clarendon. I'm going down to Denby. I'm the patron for the Clarendon 4-H clubs, and I hope that the chairman of the 4-H clubs will be there, because Clarendon 4-H clubs will be having their achievement dates that time of year. So I think I want to invite him now to say a few words. Senator Norman Grant, come forward. He's chairman of the Jamaica 4-H clubs. We understand the importance of keeping the youth connected with these things. 4-H movement is powerful and it is growing. Right, Senator?
Certainly, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Most Honorable Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller, Minister Hilton, Minister of State Robinson, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Professors Morrison and Lowe, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good afternoon. It is indeed my pleasure on behalf of the Jamaica 4-H Club to join in saluting this momentous occasion. In fact, we see it as a game changer. An industry, the nutraceutical industry, that has grown from some $20 billion in the 1990s, 2000, as the minister indicated, projecting to grow to some 270 billion in 2016 and close to 750 billion in 2018, and arguably projected to grow to $1 trillion by 2025, to be one of the world's fastest growing industry. You will understand my excitement that the Jamaica 4-H Club, that stood at 18,000 in the year 2000 and grew to 70,000 in the year 2012, to now register a growth of 87,000 clubites. Young persons between the ages of 5 and 25 with a mandate to adopt in areas of leadership, agriculture, agro-processing, and emerging opportunities. The nutraceutical industry is an emerging opportunity for the youth. And to this extent, we're extremely delighted to note our summoning by the National Council for Science and Technology, reporting to the Honorable Prime Minister, to execute a memorandum of understanding between that council and the Jamaica 4-H Club to ensure that our young people are involved in the development of this most important and emerging industry. It is a game changer because our 228,000 farmers have an average age of mid-50s, and it is declining because in the 1990s it was mid-60s. But what is exciting is that there are a number of young persons that are getting involved in agriculture, where the 4-H movement, Madam Prime Minister, is the nursery. And therefore, in keeping with your instruction, is a game-changing move for us to have the Jamaica 4-H Club movement participate in this area and give hope for job creation and entrepreneurship to our youth. I close on this note because I've been given an opportunity to be brief, knowing my tendency to be not so brief. The Jamaica 4-H Club this year celebrates 75 years, and I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome both Rebecca and Megan from Ontario 4-H Canada, who is here with us, who are celebrating 100 years in Canada. And we should really commend, ask them to stand. And it is a part of the reciprocal that we will intend to exchange, that we will certainly have their president coming back to be a part of our 75th celebration. So as we celebrate this momentous occasion, the Jamaica 4-H Club congratulate this movement, the national nutraceutical industry, an industry that is here to stay, an industry that is here to help the economy grow, an industry that is here to facilitate growth and development of our youth in agriculture, in keeping with the mandate of the Ministry of Agriculture and our most honorable Prime Minister. Well done. We will expose our youth in training and development in the area of entrepreneurship as we seek to grow our economy, grow the 4-H movement, and grow opportunity for our youth who are our future, so that they can have a brighter future. Thank you very much. May God bless you all. And let me just say that the Jamaica Agriculture Society that forms the 4-H Club celebrate 120 years this year. So it is really just a game changing year. It's a year of a whole heap of great things. And I know the Madam Prime Minister has other great things for us. God bless you, Prime Minister, as you continue to lead a wonderful country with great ideas.
Thank you, Senator Norman Grant. He had to just put that bit in about the JAS, and very importantly, 120 years and 4-H 75. Very important, because one spawned the other. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me, you remember, well, you might have come in a little late. I did apologize that for the Honorable Philip Holwell, that he had to leave the island on an urgent mission to do the business of this country. And I said at the time that he would be ably represented. It's now time for me to invite the Minister of State of the Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, the Honorable Julian Robinson, to bring us an overview.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremonies, our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, Minister Anthony Hilton, Permanent Secretaries who are here, the South African Ambassador to Jamaica, all distinguished stakeholders who have been involved in the development of a nutraceutical industry. And while we are doing an official launch, when I listened to the testimonials earlier, it's very clear that we have had a nutraceuticals industry for a very long time. As your Master of Ceremonies indicated, Minister Philip Powell, who would have loved to have been here, had to travel at very short notice today. He's also the Vice Chairman of the National Council on Science and Technology, and he would have absolutely loved to have been here to share in this historic occasion. The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining works closely with the National Council for Science and Technology, while the Scientific Research Council is one of the lead agencies of the ministry and has been mandated to develop new products that can be produced and marketed by micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to create viable businesses. Through the ministry, the government is currently reviewing the National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy, STI, as part of the process to improve the contribution of science, technology and innovation to national development and the achievement of sustainable economic growth. Last year, the NCST was resuscitated and is ably led by Professor Errol Morrison, and its mandate renewed in order to give momentum to these efforts. Since then, a committee has been established headed by Professor Kawa from the University of the West Indies to update the science, technology and innovation policy. The push to expand the use of and access to new and appropriate technology by Jamaicans is crucial to the country's progress. We're not going to progress as a society if we continue to focus on being primary producers only. We're not going to get there unless we use science and technology to inculcate a national culture of innovation and the production of value-added goods and services. The Commission, which is chaired by our Prime Minister, has ratified a proposal for us to move with alacrity towards greater popularization of science and technology, not only in the formal sector, but in the informal sector as well. The new direction of the Commission will reflect a joined-up government approach. There will be greater synergy and coordination, and we'll see increased focus on science, technology, and innovation through the government and in the implementation of public policy. It is in this context that the launch of this national nutraceuticals industry assumes great significance. Already the steering committee headed by Professor Morrison reflects the spectrum of interest in both the public and the private sectors. Agencies such as JAMPRO, the Scientific Research Council, the Bureau of Standards, JBDC, PIOJ, JIPA, as well as the Ministries of Health, Agriculture, STEM, and Industry, Investment and Commerce are all included, as we move forward to develop this industry. We believe that while the state and government agencies have a critical facilitatory and regulatory role, the industry cannot achieve the desired results without the private sector. And by private sector here, we're not just talking about big businesses, but big, medium, and small-sized enterprises. The private sector, or young entrepreneurs, or scientists and innovators, must see science, technology, and innovation to grow this industry, to generate new products, and to enhance production and productivity. For instance, agriculture must increasingly give way to agro-industry, greenhouse technology, bioenergy, tissue culture, electronic commerce and marketing must drive enhanced productivity, increase competitiveness. Importantly also, value-added production must overtake primary production. These elements must be central to the viability and sustainability of this national nutraceuticals industry. Our Prime Minister has identified the orderly development of Jamaica's nutraceutical industry as a game changer. She cherishes the cultural connection that our forebears have with their natural environment, its plants and healing waters. But her connection is not merely emotive. The hard economic facts are that the nutraceutical industry is the fastest growing segment of the health products industry, overtaking even the pharmaceutical industry. When our Prime Minister speaks, she speaks not only with passion, but with the knowledge and assurance that given the opportunity, our people will help to unleash the tremendous potential of our indigenous herbs, medicinal plants, and healing waters. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to join me in welcoming the Chairman of the National Council on Science and Technology, our Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Portia Simpson-Miller.
Madam Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Faye Ellington, Reverend Dr. Stephen Jennings, Honorable Julian Robinson, Honorable Anthony Hilton, Dr. Lisa Myers Morgan, representing the Honorable Derek Kelly, Dr. Kevin Harvey, Permanent Secretary, representing the Minister of Health. Minister of Health, for him today is not a very happy day because today he had to be at the funeral of his mom. And that is why he's not here this afternoon. Professor, the Honorable Errol Morrison, our Director General, National Commission on Science and Technology, members of the Diplomatic Corps, heads of international organizations, senators, Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Norman Grant, Mr. Norman Wright, and I want to recognize the presence of members of the Rastafarian community of the nutraceutical industry in Jamaica. My firm belief in and unshakable support for this industry is anchored in the view that it has the potential to transform the fortunes of our economy and society. The industry is growing rapidly globally. 20 years ago, the worldwide business in nutraceuticals was estimated to be worth $20 billion US. It has already surpassed initial projections of $200 billion by 2018 and is now projected to be valued at $600 billion by 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, nutraceuticals are from food sources with extra health benefits. They also include medicinal plants and natural mineral waters. Our mineral water in Jamaica, I think, perhaps is the best. We have several sources of mineral water here in Jamaica. The healing powers of our waters at Bath in St. Thomas, Milk River in Clarendon, and Rockfort in Kingston have already been established. These must be the foundation of a revitalized wellness industry. There are 160 plants known and declared worldwide as having medicinal properties. At least 86 of those plants are endemic to Jamaica. We already have a well-established tradition of folk medicine. Many of us can, as we recall our parents' and grandparents' knowledge and use of healing bush remedies. They made teas, applied dressings, and treated various illnesses with great success. Today, we still enjoy a variety of teas, wines, tonic drinks, and applications made from indigenous plants. This traditional knowledge is embedded in a rich cultural legacy. This legacy has been underutilized and unexploited for serious economic gain for Jamaica and its people. We are sitting on a gold mine in terms of the potential gains from the industry. The possible economic benefits for Jamaica are tremendous. Thousands of new jobs can be created through mass cultivation and employment in labs and processing plants. There's a potential for increased revenue from greater earning power of new workers. There will be more foreign exchange through greater exports and the development of medical tourism. Lower cost of livestock production and an agricultural boost will result from more cost-effective livestock feed. Ladies and gentlemen, preliminary studies have shown that animals, particularly poultry fed with botanicals, certainly demonstrate accelerated growth and better quality meat. I think Cuba is one country now in feeding animals with some of these things that we're talking about, and it was indicated that the meat is different and tastes certainly better. With the development of the nutraceutical industry, there will be world-class exposure for more Jamaican scientists, because we have several great scientists in Jamaica, and I'm sure that this will assist because the world will know about them. There will be the development of several new industries. For these reasons, I am determined that my administration will be moving in a serious way to develop the nutraceutical industry in Jamaica. This is an integral part of a national strategic approach for ensuring economic growth, development, and job creation. We're not starting from scratch because some pioneering work has been done. In the 1950s, Dr. Johnson in St. Elizabeth used ram goat roses for treating diabetes. A group of visitors took the plants to Canada. Scientific investigations in Canada yielded 2 drugs for treating certain types of blood cancers. By the 1970s, Dr. Manley West Albert Lockhart, and Henry Lowe were working on the ganja plant that yielded extracts from successfully treating glaucoma and asthma. And I'm very happy that Dr. Lowe is here with us this afternoon. Work has continued over the years with important contributions from Professors Errol Morrison, Harvey Reid, and Helen Asemoto, and their teams at the University of the West Indies. The Scientific Research Council has done work developing tissue culture and formulating products like extracts of lemongrass, known as fever grass. And those of us who grew up in deep rural Jamaica are well aware of the fever grass. A Northern Caribbean University team led by Professor Paul Giles and Vincent Wright has done important work on ginger and sorrel. Dr. Henry Lowe is now doing groundbreaking work on ganja, old man's beard, lignum vitae, and guinea hen weed. Let me tell you something. I personally believe if there's one country in the world with plants and herbs with the cure for cancer, it is here in Jamaica. Yeah. There are several small enterprises around the island producing nutraceuticals. These products are in need of standardization, testing, monitoring, and quality assurance, because we want to ensure that the things that the people are taking will have no impact on their liver or having to impact their health in any negative way. So we are doing the testing, and I think that is important, and I'm sure Dr. Morrison and Dr. Lowe would have nothing else than having that done. The National Commission on Science and Technology is leading an effort that is working on plans to regularize and develop a sustainable nutraceutical industry in Jamaica. Perhaps, maybe, Honorable Kenny Benjamin will begin to plant up some of this place in terms of the plants and the herbs. And I heard somebody mention Ansensimania. Today's launch heralds the start of a system to encourage, regulate, and monitor production locations, processes, and products to ensure that they meet national and international standards. Going forward, we must attract and engage large investors to maximize the wealth potential of the industry. Just think of India and what their plants and herbs are doing in India. And not only remaining in India, but globally. Can you imagine if Jamaica, that is one of the most, I might get into trouble for this, but I'm going to say it anyhow, the most known country in our region, and I believe the most popular country in our region, if not through Bob Marley, it's through Usain Bolt and Shelley and Fraser Price. But our musical icons that Jamaica produced. Oh yes, we produce some great sons and daughters. Whether we want to talk about those that the university produced like a Rex Nettleford and others. We are a great country and a great people. And that's why I keep on begging Jamaicans to behave in keeping with the greatness of our ancestors and the number of great Jamaicans that Jamaica produced, both male and female. Several companies are already expressing interest in large-scale production and commercialization of products from Jamaica's abundant medicinal plants. I want to pause to commend Dr. Lowe, Honorable Dr. Lowe, for not only doing significant scientific work, but for also investing in financial terms. In financial terms, Jamaica's nutraceutical industry. He believes in the nutraceutical industry. He is pushing ahead with it. You go to his place and you see these many things produced from Dr. Lowe's lab of medicinal use. Jamaican product, not products from elsewhere, but Jamaican products. I want to thank you, Dr. Lowe, for leading the way in something that I believe in. And those of us who was brought up in deep rural Jamaica know you have the fever. In the morning, your mom does something. By evening, you're running up and down, fever gone. Jamaican plants and herbs. You sprain your ankle, mommy beat up something, custard apple leaves and some rum and something, pour on a tie. You'll never feel pain again in your life after it is better. When it is said by our doctors in Jamaica that if you hurt your ankle, every now and then you feel pain. Not true. I had hurt my ankle. My mom dealt with it and I never felt a pain again. And you see how I can run? We have to include all stakeholders. Already, a memorandum is to be signed with the Jamaica 4-H movement to engage the country's youth. Some 8,500 young people in 4-H clubs across the country will benefit from the opportunities along the value chain. The partnership in its initial stages will focus on the establishment of greenhouses and gardens and strengthening 4-H programs within some. I am advised that at least 2 companies have expressed an interest in establishing tissue culture farms in Jamaica to enhance the multiplication of botanicals. These tissue culture farms will create hundreds of jobs for new college graduates and high school graduates with science background. Not only can the graduates be gainfully employed, but these farms provide the opportunity for the new workers to apply theory to practice, therefore setting the stage for further innovations. All government agencies must be made more focused on assisting small and large nutraceutical businesses. And I want them to know, and I'm going to ensure, because the cabinet is already aware of my interest in this area and in this industry, and I will be one of the persons helping Dr. Lowe to spread the good news for the nutraceutical industries. These agencies include especially the Scientific Research Council, Government Chemists, the Intellectual Property Office, the Business Development Corporation, and the Bureau of Standard and JAMPRO Minister. The joint government approach is needed for this exciting industry to move forward. And I do not believe every agency of government going on their own and doing what they feel to do. I think this important industry must be done with a united effort by way of joined up government. We must examine existing institutions and reposition them to be responsive to the needs of this non-traditional industry. This industry, I believe, is also ideal for the kind of private-public partnership that has worked well in other areas. And so we want to ensure we form a partnership with the private sector. We already have Dr. Lu. In fulfilling its mandate, the NCST has laid the foundation, ladies and gentlemen, for the development of a national nutraceutical industry. The industry is based on scientific research to drive the commercialization of products including teas, fortified water, dietary supplements, and concentrates. There's a dynamic market here in Jamaica, in the diaspora, and globally. There's a growing niche market for these products. In the United States alone, there are an estimated 20 million health enthusiasts. There's also the area of medical tourism linked to our mineral baths. Jamaica will be joining more than 50 countries that officially recognize it as a national industry. Estimates of the value of the global medical tourism industry have been put at some US 40 billion. I want to congratulate those practitioners who have pushed ahead despite the odds. And I urge you to give a helping hand to the new entrants in the industry. I once again want to commend Dr. Lowe and Professor Errol Morrison, that inseparable scientific duo, on publishing a new book which tells the Jamaican story on nutraceuticals. I am humbled and honored that the book that has been dedicated to me in recognition of my advocacy and support for the Jamaican nutraceutical industry. I want to thank you very much, gentlemen, and I trust that you will acquire this book, those of you who are present here this evening, and learn of the scientific underpinnings, the hurdles to be overcome, and the vision for the future. Indeed, much is expected from this thrust in nutraceuticals. I commend the many practitioners and other entities exhibiting their products here today. We can learn from, and I understand that there are representatives here from the Maroon community. And the Maroons were also known for the use of our plants and herbs. To all those who work to ensure this launch, I salute your efforts. We expect that the launch will serve as a catalyst for the growth and development of a vibrant and sustainable nutraceutical industry in Jamaica. And I am sure that with our plants and herbs, if we can't develop the best and the largest nutraceutical industry in this country, something is wrong with us. But I have faith in the leaders leading this charge. And I want to commend them and to thank them and to say to them, you have my full support. Any ministry or minister give you trouble, just give me one call. I will not be far away. And I'm sure I have Julian's support, as I know I have Minister Paula's support in this area. And if you can't find me, find Julian. He will deal with it for me. Thank you for your interest and support. May God continue to bountifully bless our greatly endowed island nation and those who are involved with this program. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. And to the Rastafarians present, I say, Jah bless.